When legends collide, when power meets destiny, only one will stand. Welcome to Epic Battles TV, where the greatest clashes come to life. Who will conquer? Who will fall? Let the battle begin. The sky above Asgard darkened, not with the coming of night, but with the approach of doom itself. Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, loomed over the Golden Realm, his sheer presence an unbearable weight upon reality. The cosmos trembled, stars flaring in protest before dimming to embers. Asgardian warriors dropped to their knees, their divine blood instinctively recognizing an adversary beyond comprehension. Thor stood at the heart of the storm, his eyes blazing with cosmic wisdom, his body brimming with the unfathomable might of the Rune King. He had seen this moment before it came to pass. The threads of fate had whispered of an impending reckoning. Yet even with his omniscience, the sheer enormity of Galactus threatened to unravel all foresight. The Devourer was here not just for Asgard, but for Thor himself. This world is mine. Galactus's voice boomed, a declaration that sent ripples through space-time itself. Submit or be erased. Thor's grip on Mjolnir tightened. The air crackled with divine fury as he raised his hammer, his voice thundering back in defiance. You will find no feast here, only war. And war began. Galactus raised a colossal hand, fingers crackling with the immeasurable energy of the power cosmic. A single gesture sent a beam of raw destruction surging toward Asgard's golden spires. With the reflexes of a god ascended, Thor swung Mjolnir in a perfect arc, deflecting the onslaught. The force of impact split the heavens, sending shockwaves rippling across dimensions. But Galactus did not relent. He struck again, unleashing torrents of cosmic annihilation that could have unraveled entire star systems. Thor surged forward, his form a streak of lightning and fury, weaving between devastation itself. He swung Mjolnir with all the might of a god unchained, striking Galactus's enormous frame. The impact echoed like the roar of creation, shattering mountains and sending pieces of Asgardian palaces hurtling into space. Yet Galactus did not stagger. Instead, he turned his gaze downward, eyes burning with infinite power. You are mighty, but you are still but a god. The Devourer's hand closed into a fist, and suddenly, the cosmos itself betrayed Thor. Gravity twisted, dimensions bent, and time itself fractured around him. The Rune King found himself encased in a prison of distorted reality, his very existence threatened to be unraveled. The agony was indescribable, but Thor gritted his teeth, summoning the power of the runes. He reached beyond the cage of time, breaking free with a burst of divine might that sent ripples across the multiverse. Thor's eyes burned brighter, his body surged with a power even the gods had never wielded. You forget, Devourer, I have seen beyond fate. He launched himself forward with terrifying speed, striking with a force that split the fabric of existence itself. Galactus reeled, for the first time in an eon, forced to acknowledge a foe beyond mere resistance. The battle reached cataclysmic heights as gods and cosmic entities from distant realms turned their eyes toward Asgard, witnessing a battle that threatened to tear the firmament apart. Blow after blow, energy clashed against energy, divinity against the power cosmic. The very laws of existence trembled under their duel. Galactus, for all his infinite might, found himself momentarily forced back. But he was not without strategy. If you will not kneel, he declared, his voice now a force that cracked the foundations of reality, then I will unmake you. The Devourer stretched his hands, summoning a force so dark, so absolute, that even the void itself recoiled. It was the energy of entropy, of finality, of absolute annihilation. Thor's very essence trembled as the power approached him, an attack not just upon his body, but upon his very soul that a fraction of a second remained. Before oblivion claimed him, and then darkness. All that remained was silence. Cold, empty silence. The battlefield had been reduced to ruin, a void where existence itself seemed to hesitate. The 9 realms trembled at the brink of collapse. Yet, from the abyss, light flickered at a heartbeat, a spark, and then, with a resounding clap of thunder that shattered the darkness, Thor rose. His body burned with an intensity unlike any before. His form was no longer bound by flesh alone, but by the very essence of creation itself. The runes upon his skin flared with divine brilliance, his eyes twin galaxies swirling with unbridled might. Galactus had never faced anything like this. The Rune King moved, faster than thought, faster than time itself. One instant, he was beyond reach. The next, he was upon the Devourer, driving Mjolnir into his chest with the force of a collapsing star. Galactus bellowed in pain, a sound that sent cracks splintering across the cosmos. Thor did not stop as he unleashed a storm unlike any that had come before it. Lightning, not just of Asgard, but of existence itself, roared from his fingertips. It tore through Galactus's body, burning away the very essence of his being. For the first time in eternity, the Devourer of Worlds felt fear that he lashed out. A final desperate attempt to reclaim control, but Thor had transcended the battle. He was no longer merely fighting. He was rewriting the very fabric of destiny. No more. The words were not spoken. They were decreed. Thor extended his hands, and the runes upon his flesh burned with the wisdom of the cosmos. The very idea of Galactus's hunger, his existence as the eternal predator, began to unravel. The Devourer's power, the force that had sustained him since the birth of this universe, withered. Galactus let out a final, earth-shattering roar, his form flickering between existence and oblivion. He reached forward, grasping at the remains of his power, but found nothing. Rune King Thor had severed his fate with one last strike, a final, devastating blow delivered with the weight of a god's wrath. Thor sent the Devourer of Worlds hurtling into the abyss. His body, once infinite, shattered like glass, disappearing into the void between realities. The battle was over, silence returned. The heavens calmed. Asgard still stood. Thor exhaled, his power dimming, his form stabilizing. He had won. The cosmos was free from the hunger of the Devourer. He had broken a god, and in the distance, the universe whispered in reverence of the Rune King. If you enjoyed this legendary showdown, please like and subscribe to Epic Battles TV.